She was 18 when the strange pattern became too low to ignore. Her father loved her so dearly, not the father-daughter kind of love. He was secretly obsessed with her. She thought it was normal until she began to notice the strange glances from him. Her name was Achalugo, a name her parents had chosen because it meant beauty. She was kind, graceful, and moved with a gentle charm that drew people to her. But there was a mystery that followed her. Though young men from the village were known to woo every girl, none ever approached Achalugo. They would stare, frown, or even laugh in her presence. At first, Achalugo thought it was shyness. Some girls were so beautiful, men ran away from them, right? But soon, the signs multiplied. Her closest friend, Nneka, was preparing for her wedding, and the rest of their friend group had all secured suitors. Boys they had been seeing for months, boys who came to greet their parents, boys already arguing about bride price. Only Achalugo was left out. Nneka would tease her gently. "Don't worry, your own will come. Fine girl like you, nah lie." Achalugo usually smiled, but inside her heart, fear quietly started building. "Achalugo, you are the most beautiful in the village," her mother Amara would say every morning, arranging her hair with care. Her father Okafor would nod, smiling. Confused and heartbroken, she would stand before her mirror and examine herself. Her skin was flawless, her eyes bright, her hair soft and shining. There was no blemish, no scar, no fault to see. Then why did men look at her like she was a nightmare? She touched her cheeks gently. "Is it me?" she whispered. Her mother Amara, who had been watching quietly from the doorway, walked in. "My daughter," Amara said softly, "don't let people trouble your spirit. You are beautiful. Your name is not a mistake." But Atalugo's eyes remained on her reflection. "Mama, why do men fear me?" Amara froze. "Fear you? I try to talk to them and they run. I smile at them and they frown. Mama, is something wrong with my face?" Amara placed both hands on her daughter's cheeks. "I see only beauty. I raised beauty. Your father calls you beauty. Everybody calls you beauty. Everybody." Atalugo swallowed her tears. "Mama, I don't understand anything anymore." And for the first time, Amara's eyes glistened with helpless tears. She asked even the neighbors, "Is something wrong with my face? Am I not beautiful?" They all praised her, calling her the loveliest girl in the village. Yet Atalugo knew it was different with men. Her heart sank. If everyone else saw her beauty, why did men run away from her? Their laughter, their avoidance, their frowns, they spoke a truth no one wanted to tell her. The day of Nneka's traditional marriage celebration, the whole village gathered. Palm wine flowed freely, drums rolled like heartbeats, and maidens tied their wrappers tightly, adjusting beads on their necks. Achalugo wore a wrapper her mother had woven herself, beads resting on her hair, every step she took dripping with grace. Women clapped as she walked past. "Achalugo! Ah, this child is fine! Ah, beauty that breaks neck!" But the men acted differently. As she approached the gathering, a group of young men sitting under an odara tree began whispering and pointing. One of them covered his mouth in shock. Another turned his face away instantly like he had seen something terrifying. So when a young man she recognized, Chisom, walked by holding a calabash of palm wine, she gathered courage. "Chisom, Biko, good afternoon," she said softly. He turned, looked at her, and instantly staggered backwards, almost spilling his drink. "Eh, Atalugo," he stammered, voice cracking. She frowned. "Did I do something wrong?" Chisom shook his head quickly, refusing to look at her face a second time. No, I just, I'm in a hurry." He practically fled. Her chest tightened. She forced a smile and tried again with another boy. Same reaction, fearful eyes, quick retreat. A third boy actually hissed and muttered, "What kind of face is that?" Nneka noticed her distress and ran to her. "Atalugo, what's going on?" I don't know," she whispered, voice trembling. "Why do they look at me like that?" Nneka held her hand,
unsure what to say. Maybe they are intimidated. But Achalugo knew intimidation didn't make people recoil like they'd seen a spirit. That night, while the drums played and people swallowed lumps of fufu and laughter, Achalugo hid behind the compound fighting tears. When Ineka's husband Chibuke came to greet the girls, he hugged each one except Achalugo. He stopped when he reached her, blinked once, stepped back like someone pushed him, and simply nodded. Even he could not hide it. That was the moment Achalugo felt something inside her break. One afternoon, her father Okafor entered the hut silently, as he usually did. He had always been a quiet man, one who spoke mostly with his eyes. But he loved her daughter too much, sometimes too much for comfort. He would call her my golden jewel. He never let her go anywhere alone. He hovered around her too often. He watched her like a man guarding a treasure. But Achalugo always thought it was fatherly love. Until after the wedding day, when Okafor's behavior changed, he suddenly became controlling. Achalugo, where are you going? To the stream? No, you went last week. To Nneka's house? For what? Why do you need to attend any gathering? Stay at home. He monitored her every step. If she smiled at a passerby, he frowned. If she talked to a young man, he scolded her. If she wanted to go anywhere, he stood in her way. Amara noticed it too. One night she told him, Okafor, let the girl breathe now. She's a grown woman. Okafor simply stared at her. She is my daughter. I know what is best for her. Don't question me. Achalugo heard that tone. Something inside it made her skin crawl, but she pushed the thought away. It was her father who had raised her father who had always loved her. Why would she suspect him of anything? That night, Achalugo had cried herself to sleep after another failed attempt to speak to the boys in the village square. In the middle of the night, she woke up with a strange feeling, like someone was watching her. The room was quiet. Amara slept deeply. Achalugo turned toward the doorway and saw movement. A shadow, tall, broad, familiar. Her father, standing there, looking at her. She blinked quickly. Papa, is everything okay? He stepped back. I was checking if you're alright, he said. Go back to sleep. His voice was strange, cold, possessive. Achalugo's heart beat fast, but she nodded. Good night, Papa. He closed the door slowly, too slowly, like someone who did not want to leave. Achalugo lay awake, eyes open, fear crawling under her skin. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Over the next days, things got worse. Some of her friends stopped inviting her out because they said the boys felt uncomfortable. Men in the marketplace giggled nervously whenever she bought things. A group of children saw her and ran away shouting, Monkey face! That one pierced her heart. She ran home and locked herself inside. For hours she cried, deep painful sobs. At night, she refused to eat. She sat outside staring into empty space. Amara begged her, My child, don't do this to yourself. But she whispered the same thing every night. Mama, what is wrong with my face? Amara had no answer. Okafor said nothing. He just sat quietly, watching her too closely. 2 weeks later, fate stepped in. Achalugo went to the stream reluctantly with her friend Nneka. She practically dragged her out so she could breathe small. She didn't want to go. She didn't want anyone to look at her again. But that day, a group of boys were already at the bank of the stream, bathing and laughing loudly. When the girls arrived, the boys turned. Some laughed, some frowned, some even whispered, She don't come again. Achalugo's cheeks burned with shame. Then one boy stood forward. Not laughing, not mocking, just calm. His name was Emma. Quiet, observant, gentle, an artist who mostly kept to himself. He walked toward her, ignoring the murmurs of his friends. Achalugo, please come. She hesitated. Why? To mock me too? No, he said. To ask you something important. The other boys giggled. but Emma glared at them and they stopped. Achalugo followed him to a quiet corner. Emma looked at her face carefully.
"Please don't be offended," he said. "But, why does your face look like this?" Achalugu's heart dropped. "What do you mean? What is wrong with my face?" Emma swallowed hard. "You don't know?" "No." He looked at her again, his expression filled with pity. "Achalugu, Biko, follow me." He took her to his workshop, grabbed his drawing tools, and in a few minutes sketched her face as he saw it. When he turned the drawing toward her, Achalugu screamed and stumbled backward because the face in the drawing was not hers, not the beautiful face she saw daily, not the face her mother praised. No, it was monstrous, twisted, ugly, almost animal-like, a distorted version of her beauty, a face that made her look like an animal creature. Achalugo collapsed to her knees, shaking violently. "Emma, this cannot be me." Emma knelt beside her and held her hand gently. "I am so sorry," he whispered. "I didn't want to hurt you, but this is what men see." Achalugo wept uncontrollably. Her breath came in sharp, painful gasps. For the first time, the truth stared her in the face. Something was wrong, very wrong. She ran home, showing the portrait to her parents, and explained everything to them. Her mother, Amara, fell to her knees, weeping and praying that the evil could be undone. Her father, Mr. Okafor, said nothing. His silence was heavy, and it sank deep into Achalugu's heart. That night, the house was no longer full of laughter. Achalugu cried herself to sleep, haunted by her reflection, by the truth she could not yet speak. Emma, however, became her companion, comforting her, speaking softly. "Do not despair, Achalugu. I will help you. There is a way." Together, they visited a prophetess, a woman who was said to know all secrets and reveal all hidden truths. The prophetess studied Achalugu's eyes, her hair, and the portrait, and then spoke with a heavy heart. "The spell was cast by one who loves too much," the prophetess said. "It was no stranger, no witch. The one who feared your love being given to another is the one who cast this charm. It is your father." Achalugu's first reaction was fury. "That is impossible. My father would never do such a thing to me." She stood, trembling, calling the prophetess a fraud. "You lie. I will not believe it." Emma took her hand. "Listen to me, Achalugu. Think, why did your father watch you so closely? Why did he never allow you near other men? This obsession is his alone. We must be cautious, but we must act." Achalugu shook her head, denial battling logic. "No, I will not believe it." But slowly, doubts crept in. Her father's overprotectiveness, the absence of any fatherly concern when men mocked her. It all began to fit the pieces of a terrible puzzle. Days passed, and Achalugu and Emma devised a plan. They would watch her father, see the truth for themselves. Early one morning, they followed him quietly into the bush, keeping to shadows and thick grass. Mr. Okafor met with a native doctor, a man of strange eyes and secretive hands. Hidden behind a thick tree, Achalugu and Emma overheard everything. The native doctor spoke of a deadly charm, a poison, and of keeping Achalugu away from all men. He warned Mr. Okafor that if the truth was discovered, he would lose his mind. He gave Mr. Okafor a small vial of poison. Emma's hands shook with anger. "He would kill you to hide his secret, Achalugu. We must be careful." That night, Achalugu did not sleep in her own home. She stayed at Emma's place, hidden and safe. The rage that coursed through her father's veins was hard even through closed doors. He beat her mother for letting her leave. Amara wept, helpless. The next morning, Achalugu returned home with the prophetess and Emma. The prophetess spoke with authority. "It is time for truth. No longer will fear and silence hide evil. Mr. Okafor, confess." Faced with their unwavering resolve, Mr. Okafor's composure cracked. He fell to his knees,
confessing everything. How he had loved her obsessively, how he had secretly watched her, how he had cast the charm and kept her from any other man. Achalugo's heart shuddered with betrayal and horror. "You did this to me? To keep me trapped?" she whispered, tears streaming. His shame was unbearable. In a moment of horror and despair, he ended his life, unable to face the consequences of his actions. With the charm broken, Achalugo felt an unfamiliar lightness. For the first time, she saw her own reflection clearly, and the world saw her true beauty. Word of Achalugo's ordeal spread through the village, but instead of pity, people celebrated her courage. Emma stayed by her side throughout, his loyalty unwavering. Together, they planned to move forward, to heal, and to live freely. One day, under the village's great baobab tree, Emma held her hands. "Achalugo," he said softly, "I have seen your heart, your courage, and your beauty, not what your father hid. Will you marry me?" Achalugo, finally seeing love that was genuine, nodded. "Yes, Emma, with all my heart." The village rejoiced. The women sang, the drums beat, and everyone came to honor the girl who had been hidden, who had suffered, but who now claimed her life and her love. Achalugo had endured lies, curses, and betrayal. She had faced her father's dark obsession, the whispers of the village, and the twisted magic that held her back. Yet she emerged stronger, free, and loved. Her mother, Amara, wept tears of joy. "My daughter, my beautiful Achalugo, you are free, you are happy." Achalugo forgave her father's mistakes in her heart, knowing that evil could not touch her again. From that day onward, Achalugo and Emma lived happily, their love a beacon, a story told by elders to remind everyone that no darkness, no curse, no deception can keep the heart from seeing the truth.